Worksop! Come on, Worksop!
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Talk, the official podcast of Worksop Town Football Club. Saturday saw the first game of the campaign get underway and unfortunately resulted in a 3-0 defeat to Yorkshire Amateur. Today I'm joined by Luke Atherton as always. Luke, after sleeping on the result, how are you feeling today?
Still a bit gutted because obviously I was hoping for a better outcome, but optimistic still. Just move on to Tuesday now. That's the mindset. Too right.
I think no one's going to come out yesterday and say that they weren't disappointed with the outcome, because obviously we're all fans and it hits us hard, doesn't it?
Nice.
But we're into a second episode of the podcast. Thank you for all the reception it got and the kind comments, people coming up to us at game and saying they enjoyed it, and a few of them like Glenn mocking us for his little how are we and stuff like that, which was good banter and stuff like that. How did you find it last week?
Yeah, I thought it went well. Like I said, the good feedback. There were some kind words from a lot of fans on after yesterday's game. It's good it's something new for the club. It's going to bring fans and players more together more than they already are, and I think it's going to be something good that's going to hopefully get better as the season goes on.
Yeah, we kind of just said we were going to get on with it after months and really years, because this has been sort of in the work and we've always wanted to do this for a while now, and today's the right time. This season's the right time.
Yeah.
And going forward, we want to bring sort of reactions from the games, and after every match we'll do a post-match one and a preview to the next one, and we'll get interviews involved with players and that. We also want to bring episodes, like special individual episodes with certain players, staff, supporters, past players. There's like Sir Richard Nelson asking us to get Higo on, which would be a great laugh, and some of the legends of Worksop Town. And when they're on, we also want fan questions, so keep an eye out on the forum and on our social media for asking for questions in for them. But let's crack on with today's episode. Here's what you can expect today. We'll be reviewing the league opener with the thoughts of Craig Parry and Aleksandrs Starcenko. We'll also preview the Sheffield FC game on Tuesday night. We will then finish with a feature with James Baxendale, who discussed Saturday's game, but I asked him questions on how he's found his first steps going into coaching as a player coach. But we'll also hear from videographer Michael Hothersall about the Tigers' view and what more content that you're going to enjoy over the course of the season. But firstly, let's get into Saturday.
Something tells me I'm late to something. Oh, it tells me I'm late to something. Woke up this morning feeling fine. I've got the Tigers.
So let's start with Saturday. Worksop Town 0-3 Yorkshire Amateur. We mentioned Fernando Moak beforehand, and he got the opener on 21 minutes before Roy Fogarty doubled their lead 4 minutes later. And those goals were sort of a sucker punch after a good start to the game, Luke.
Yeah, we had several good chances early on, and then we kept trying to press them, and then when they got the ball, they managed to get it out on the counter attack, and they had some really good runs on them counter attacks that caused us problems. I just thought after them 2 goals that happened so quick between each other, I just thought it were very difficult for us to get back into the game then, because they're in the driving seat, they're in control. They just they made it hard for us to break them down. We did throughout the game, but the chances it just wasn't our day, unfortunately. But I think we can take a lot of positives out of that game as well, because we did create stuff. It wasn't like they were constantly dominating us for 90 minutes. I believe certainly the second half we were dominant. What was your take?
I think we created chances, and I said to Bax about the number of chances probably got into the double figures, but it was the efficiency of them. I think it took us a while to get our first shot on target. We went near with Zane in the first half. I think he missed it was inches away from that top corner after turning his man. And they were just unlucky moments, like I remember Bax's free kick into the area, and McDonnell were just an inch away off his toe end to poke that in. It was unfortunate at times, and I think Yorkshire Amateur came with a game plan to sort of just slow down that first period, and then hit us on the counter. And we know, I think we highlighted that front three, whoever it would be, because they made several signings, the likes of Ross Duggan, who didn't feature, and Peter Cruz, who's signed from Belper, and they wasn't in the starting lineup for in the squad for some reason. And we had Moke, Casey Stewart, and Roy Fogarty, who would start anyway, and you wouldn't be grudged if you were a Yorkshire Amateur fan if that were your starting three. And just as the game went on, you could see that Worksop were getting more and more frustrated just because of refereeing decisions, and things just weren't going our way. And we sort of that's first time. Obviously, we've had tests in pre-season, but it might be good in the long run, in hindsight, to give us a little kick up the backside. But obviously, nobody wants to lose.
Yeah, I agree with them points. They're all very good, valid points. I think hopefully it's what we've got to do. We've just got to learn from it and move on now, because there's nothing we can do about that game now. That's finished, and all we can do is focus on Sheffield FC, and I'm sure that'll be their mindset now going into Tuesday.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because like as we talked about the opening goals. Then things got more frustrating. It got harder when Deegan unfortunately got his second yellow and was sent off, and then Birchall got the goal at the end, which was sort of sums the afternoon up of the type of goal it was as well.
Yeah.
But now we can hear from Craig the first part of his post-match interview. He was rather calm, because I know as a manager I would be frustrated, and it's probably easier for most managers nowadays just to shout and bawl at the players and after a performance. But he was calm, and reiterated to his side that it's just the first game. They know they're good enough, the ability's there, and it will come. What do you think of the interview?
Yeah, just echoing what you said. That's exactly what I've took from that interview. You felt the frustration after the game. It wasn't an aggressive interview. It was, like you said, in a calm, disciplined interview. He did really well, I thought, in it, because you can easily, straight after the game, red mist, lose your cool, and next minute you're talking in a camera and you're saying things that you might regret, But I think it just shows how the character of Craig, of how he's a calm, collected bloke. He'll not panic. And that's good, because he believes in his system, he believes in his players, and I think it was a good interview, an honest interview, and I agree with some of the points he made about the early chances. Maybe the game could have changed. It could have been a different game. I mean, if we were in the driving seat and they were pushing, we could have gone on to score 3 or 4. Next minute, the game's over at half time. Well, it's looking like it's in the bag at half time,
So, Craig, an opening day defeat.
Yep.
What were your thoughts on the performance?
I think it's probably the worst performance we've put in, really. I'm sat here now, studying now. It's not something that I expected, but it is what it is. We've got to take it on the chin. A lot of disappointing lads in there, and my job is to pick them up, and away we go. Leagues are not won and lost on the first game of the season. It's obviously massively disappointing. I don't think a lot of things went for us today. I don't know. Obviously, it's obviously a big occasion as well. With 18 months or so being out of it, and I think there were a lot of nerves there. I think we needed an early goal, but fair play. I think you've got to look at my notes I put in before the game. Let's not take anything away from Yorkshire Amateurs. They're a good side. They've got some good players in there, and they will be up there. You see my programme notes. I think they'll be a top 6 side. There's no doubt about that. And the better side won today, but we live to fight another day, and yeah, we move on.
The likes of Casey Stewart, Fernando Moak and Roy Fogarty caused the defence problems in that first 25 minutes. Were you disappointed with that?
Yeah, I think, though, to be honest with you, I think in the first 20 minutes before they actually scored, I think we should have. I think there was a set play that went in there, we missed an early chance. You know, I've gone in behind them a couple of times. I thought we should have, you know, probably picked a better pass in the first 20 minutes to try and open them up, you know, when we have got in behind them. And then we got hit with a sucker punch, we got hit with a counter attack, and, you know, fair play to them. Casey Stewart's played, you know, he's a good player, he played a great ball in behind, and, you know, away he goes and away he scored. A simple counter attack, like, you know, simple thing like that. And probably the most disappointing thing for me is that it's not what problems their front three caused us. It's kind of, you know, we in the first 20 minutes in the game, being positive, doing things the right thing. Like I said, could have took, you know, some chances, and you know, if we get a goal up, things might be differently. But we let you know, they get to take a chance to take a goal, and we just get our heads down. We went flat. We went in ourselves. We were scared to get the ball and pass. And that's the most disappointing thing for me. It's not the result, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a long all season. I've said it many a times that there's going to be a lot of, you know, positives, negatives. It's the closest I've seen this league in levels wise. There ain't going to be no front runners. It's going to be, you know, there's going to be quite a lot of teams in the mix, and it's going to level itself out. But like I said, this disappointing thing for me that, you know, when we go 1-0 down, we just went flat, went in ourselves, and we just completely changed what we've done over the last 2 months.
At half time you brought on Aleksandrs, and he seemed to have a positive impact. What did you make of his performance?
Alex was best player. There's absolutely no doubt in that. And you know, I've just said to the lads in there, you know, I take the blame, you know, for today. I don't blame them. I told them to get their heads up. I've told them to stick together. There's no been shoutings. There's no been any rollickings in there. But you know, I've pinpointed Alex, and you know, on an hindsight, maybe I should have set the team up a little bit more positively and and played, you know, a different system. I think I should have. So I take and Alex would have been in that system. So I've told the lads in there, I take the blame for today. You know, it's me that sets the team up. I'm the manager of this football club. It's me who's brought these lads in and who I know will do extremely well for this club. There's no doubt in that. There's no doubt them boys in there will be successful for this club. Just not gone well for us today, and you know, it's one of those. But Alex coming on second half, you're probably best player on pitch. There's no doubt in that.
An honest assessment there from Craig. Let's look at some positives though, Luke. Half time came. And there was a change for the Tigers. Aleksandrs Starcenko replacing Jack Broadhead, and Alex had a really good impact from the bench.
Yeah, I thought he was, like Craig said, his best player in the second half. I thought he was the one pulling the strings in the midfield, trying to get things going. He had a couple of shots from the edge of the box from some really good passes of play, and on another day they could have gone in. You're talking inches off the target, and yeah, it would just he did really well, and I thought he put a good performance in a what was horrible afternoon.
Yeah, I think there was times where he was forcing things to happen, and normally when you say they're forcing it, you can think you're trying to do that extra bit, and you end up losing the ball because of sloppy play, or you're just trying to you're trying to bulldoze through. But he's got more of an elegant style to him. He glides across the pitch. He wins. He just nips the ball, and is very neat with his possessions play. And we saw him on occasions the outside of the foot ball over the top that he played through to Maka was sensational, and I think he'll be happy with his impact. Yeah,
I believe in the interview he did after the game. I thought he thought he did put a good performance in, did what was asked, and just tried his heart out to try and get Worksop back into the game. Unfortunately, this Saturday it didn't happen, but it was just. I thought he can. He's one of those that can look himself in the mirror and think, yeah, I did what I could. I think the players worked hard and tried, but I just think he was just creating a lot of the attacks in the second half, when he was on the ball, it made you stand up because of how well he was playing. Commiserations on a 3-0 defeat today. What was your take on the game?
Just we were a bit sloppy. Obviously, we've done really well at pre-season. Like the lads, the spirit in the change room were good, but came against the opponents that caused on counter attack a couple of times and just took the chances pretty much.
Do you think going forward we struggled to create a lot more than we usually can?
No, not really. I mean, we had chances to score before they scored, so if we scored our chances before they've scored theirs, it would have been a completely different game, that's for sure. Even in the second half, the lads came out, we were 2-0 down, but we still believed. But obviously, sending off didn't help, and the fact that they scored the third goal just before the game finished, it was just, it wasn't ideal. But.
And when you came on in the second half, what was your reflection of your performance today?
I mean, just the gaffer put me on and he asked me to do one thing, just to press high, which, I mean, like, I tried my best. Every time that I come on the pitch, I'm always trying to do my job right, and so
there's Luke's interview with Alex. Obviously you can tell and from the jeeriness in his voice, and that he's just not his body language, but you could tell that result hurt him. But on a positive, he'll be putting himself in line for a start against Sheffield FC, as might Aronson and Nielsen and Iffy, who also played well off of the bench.
Yeah, I thought all the subs did well when they come on. I mean, Iffy's that run at the end where he took so many. I can't remember how many players he took on, but he took a lot of players on, and at the last minute he just couldn't execute that last move. And if he could have executed that last move, I mean, you're talking about goal of the season, because he's gone from one length of the pitch to the other, and no one could get near him. He just showed to all the fans there of his ability and what he's capable of. I thought Aaron came on and was a breath of fresh air. I thought he were making moves across the front line and causing them problems, trying to stretch them. I think he's an intelligent footballer, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the starting lineup on Saturday, obviously, on Tuesday, sorry. Only Craig and his backroom staff will know that. They'll be working on that, I'm sure, trying to get things put in place for Tuesday. But yeah, I thought all three subs were good. They'll have confidence going into Tuesday after them performances, because they'll feel like they came in and did what they could in a horrible situation because we were 2-0 down and chasing the game. But yeah, I was happy with the changes they made at half time.
Looking ahead to Tuesday night in Dronfield to bring on Sheffield FC, how important is it for us to sort of put that, just, the game's done now, they can't change that, it's all about the next one?
Yeah, this'll test the mentality side of Worksop now, because, and I'm sure that what you've just said there is what they're going to do. They're going to put that game behind them now, because there's nothing they can do. All they can do is look forward to Tuesday, try and get a positive result and a good performance, and get some confidence as we go on in the season. Because I think if we can get a positive result and a good performance, and maybe score a few goals, it can really bounce the team onto making a promotion push or winning the league, like a lot of the players have said, and the manager throughout pre-season. So I think we can do. I think we can get a good result. I think the mentality of the squad, I think the discipline, the good lads, they play at a good standard, and I'm sure they're confident in themselves that they will move on Tuesday night.
So before we look at Sheffield FC directly and how they did on Saturday, let's listen to both Alex Starcenko and Craig Parry on how their thoughts going into the game.
Like the old cliche goes, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and we've got a game on Tuesday night, Sheffield FC. How much will we be looking for a reaction, and what sort of things will we be looking from your side that was different today?
I think just being braver, and I think, again, I'll go back to the point, maybe that's going to come from me. Maybe I've got to set the team up a little bit more braver in a way that from the start, to allow us to do that, and I've got to have trust in these young boys here to to play the football that we want to, and take the game to the opposition. And I want the main thing I want from the lads today is to go home. I've time with the families. I've smiles on their face. The first game's out of the way now. Look, there's all that's out of the way. It's down now to like you said, the marathon in many ways, and they've got to come Tuesday with not a better attitude, because I can't get a better set of players in there with that, but a little bit more brave, a little bit more positive, a little bit more calmer, and hopefully execute the game plan that we've set for them from minute one and take 3 points.
What do you think you'll expect from Sheffield FC on Tuesday night?
Well, obviously it's a local derby, so it's going to be a massively competitive game. We've watched them twice within pre-season, so we know they've got a lot of positives, but there's also negatives there for us to exploit. And we've got to, try and go there and outshoot them and outscore them, and hopefully, we get a little bit of luck, and we get some referees as well that are a little bit more braver and a little bit more, allowing the game to flow a bit, and we can hopefully come away with a positive result.
And Sheffield FC on Tuesday, how important is it to try and get a performance and get some confidence back into the squad?
Yeah, well, the opening game, it wasn't ideal, so we'll just scrap that and just start the league as of Tuesday, and obviously, hopefully, we'll just come back with the win.
Sheffield FC on Tuesday night, they kicked off the season with a 2-2 draw against Tadcaster Albion. Sheffield FC went 2-0 up thanks to a brilliant free kick from Charlie Rainey, and a second goal from somebody called Fenton, which I'm not sure if he's got Brazilian roots, because down on football web pages he's just got one name, and on there, but they've got a couple of good players in there. Lee Cooksey at the back is someone who's played against Worksop for Sheffield FC and for Handsworth, and a competent defender. As I mentioned, Charlie Rainey has played at Sheffield Wednesday, and has joined Sheffield FC. He's very good on the ball, just more of an 8 and a technical player. They've also got Harry Mitchell, who's played at Handsworth and has had offers to go higher as well. He's a real danger, a young player on the wing, and they've also got they've got forwards like Mark Newsom, who's scored at this level for a long time, and more wingers like Silas Collins. So it's not what you expect with Sheffield FC. They've had a couple of poor results throughout pre-season, losing to Hallam. What do you think we'll expect from Sheffield FC?
I think it's going to be, they're going to come out, and I hope they try and play attacking football, because I think I believe they'll be up there at the end of the season. So I'm expecting some good standard of football. They'll be a tough team from what I've seen and what I've heard. They bring some good players from academies. You've just mentioned an ex-Sheffield Wednesday academy player, so they've got some good pedigree in the squad, and I think it'll be a tough test. I think we're going to have to be on his A game to get a good result. It'll not be an easy game.
I think every team in this division is going to be like that, and I think the fact that they went 2-0 up and conceded 2 goals in the second half to draw, with the one being in the 90th minute to Eddie Church.
Yeah.
I think it gives us a little bit of assurance that they might switch off at points, which we know that with the firepower that Worksop have, they can punish them, and if given the chances. So, but as I mentioned again, Worksop, we're yet to see us flourish completely, apart from pre-season. And once we hit that form, and hopefully Saturday gives us a little kick up the backside, we should be able to bring us as normal game.
Yeah, I think what we've got to do, we've got to believe in ourselves, which I know the lads do. They know each other's game now. They've had a long pre-season, a lot of these players together, and I think we, on this day, I think we should be able to give a game to anyone. I don't think we should fear anyone. I think we need to just get a positive result and a good performance on Tuesday. I think it's it's not vital, but I think it's important that we do, because then we can kick on from there then, and then the monkeys off us back from the first game of the season. So, and then we can just concentrate on just one game at a time. And yeah, I think we'll go out, and I think there'll be a response. I'm expecting there'll be a response on Tuesday night from us.
Moving on now, and just before we talk about the Tigers' view and and we introduce you to James Baxendale, yesterday saw a traumatic occasion, but also a heroic actions between Hallam and Renneth, two teams that we've played before, got good relations with. Due to, like, there's obviously a lot of players that have played for both sides and us. And yesterday, the game was abandoned just after half time due to assistant referee Andrew Jarvis becoming unwell. And we'd just like to give our thoughts to him. Hallam had put out a statement today saying, "We've received some fantastic news from Andrew's son this morning that he is awake and stable in hospital this morning, and we'll keep them updated with his recovery. But we'd like to say a massive well done and just congratulate her on her work. Absolutely brilliant from Shannon Brooks. She used to be the physio at Worksop during Craig Denton's days, gone with them to Hallam. But she was also the captain of the ladies' side, and she's absolutely brilliant with her job. And it was her quick thinking to help out there and really perform CPR and use the defibrillator, which is a piece of equipment that is essential, especially with after the Euros and the Christian Eriksen stuff. This is very important, and she's also doing a fundraiser, a GoFundMe to raise money to get more defibrillators in non-league football, because you just don't know when this stuff's going to happen. And we're going to include on the podcast episode in the description. There's a link to that, so please click on it, and if you can donate, please do.
Yeah, I agree. Fantastic response from, like you say, from Shannon and everyone there. They, like you say, the defibrillators, they're so vital. They save lives. I mean, you go back to the Eriksen. I mean, the uncertainty at the time, it must have been exactly the same at the Hallam game. But pat on the back for everyone that have done the bit, and well done to Shannon for not just helping him, but raising money to try and help out as much as she can. I think it's well done on everyone all around, and I'm happy that he's well and doing well, and hopefully he makes a speedy recovery, and I wish him all the best.
As we're saying, all of these incidents, no one should go to football and not return home. So moving on, Tigers View. It's a brand new feature coming this season, more content for Worksop Town supporters to enjoy. We're hoping to, especially after the last year with COVID and stuff, we're hoping to bring stuff, the fans especially, closer to the action. And here's Michael Hothersall, who's going to explain what the Tigers View is and the future aspirations of where he wants it to go. So Michael, welcome to Tiger Talk podcast. How have you found your time with Worksop so far?
It's been great. Only been in a matter of months now, so got to know the team, got to know the manager and the people behind the scenes like Pete and Keith, and it's obviously you as well in the media team, and it's a great run club. There's a lot of loyal sort of people behind it, and coming from as a local lad, as a fan, and being able to do it on a professional level with the video now, it's been a really good opportunity so far, and we've got some really exciting ideas coming up as well. So yeah, it's been great.
One of those exciting ideas being the Tigers View. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the Tigers View is basically a match day video, which will turn into a series of videos as the season goes on. So both home and away, both competitions, including the cups as well. So yeah, basically just following the first team on there and the journey throughout the season, getting that sort of alternative fan view, and it'll be great for fans that can't attend away games as well. So you'll be getting all the goal action, all the exciting stuff that happens on a match, and it's going to develop and change throughout the season as I kind of innovate with it. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting ideas, and by the fixture list, there's a lot of good fixtures that's going to get captured as well. So yeah.
So obviously there's a lot of content coming through Worksop currently now. We've got obviously the podcast, which you'll be on, the Tigers View. We've got obviously photos coming through Mike and Lewis, articles being written for reading purposes and the programme. Where do you see this Tigers View going in the future?
Hopefully this will be a key part in where the team goes, how well they do in a season. It's there to complement and give fans the extra access to the first team, and just to see how the club escalates, because so far it's been great with the new leadership. A lot of money has been put into the facilities and the team. So just to be able to get that captured on video and to get that sort of behind the scenes access that you don't necessarily see on a highlights video and or even get to know through an interview video after a game. It just gives the fans a little bit more, but also people in and around Worksop that aren't really familiar with the club. Obviously, it's a big town, and a lot of people support surrounding clubs that are up higher in the other leagues. But I really want to aim and get Worksop back on the map, back to where it belongs as well. And video is a perfect way to do that. So yeah.
Cheers, Michael, for that. And I'm hoping that, as we've already seen Michael's examples with, I'm not going to spoil one thing. We're keeping that under wraps until it happens. But he's brought in, the player announcements and training videos. So hopefully you'll all enjoy this. I know he's an absolutely brilliant videographer. Moving on to our last bit of content for you. Now we've got a long interview with James Baxendale talking about his coaching career. We've already done one in the programme with him about his playing career last season, playing at the likes of Worksop in the Football League, and he's used that experience to take it into a player coach role. Luke, how do you feel like he's done so far?
Oh, I think he's took the role of both hands. He's got experience. He knows, you can see he's learned from top quality coaches, and I think he's took that on board, and he's using that in his current title now. You've seen him yesterday. He was getting behind the players, getting them up. It was like a coach at the side trying to gear his players up, even though he was on the field. And you could see he's got a good coaching aspect in them. And I think he wants to. I think he's a good people's person as well, because he does a lot behind the scenes with fans. And I think that as a person and having the knowledge and the experience, I think it'll turn him into a good coach for Worksop.
Yeah, Bax is hugely passionate about these things. I mean, I remember I went up to a clubhouse on Friday. He was there, helping out with the academy stuff, and he looked like a kid on Christmas Eve. He was that excited for the season, and unfortunately, the first game didn't go to plan. But he's very passionate. Bax, he's very, very passionate, and you could probably tell in this interview. So he's really enjoying the coaching stuff. So I'll leave it to Bax and I to take you through that.
Obviously, we kicked off the season today with a disappointing result. What were your thoughts on what ensued?
Frustrating, because I think we've had such a good pre-season. I think we're all coming here really buzzing today. I think there was a good feel around the place. We wanted to put on a show for the fans. Wanted to put a bit of a marker down for the rest of the teams in the league, and it's it wasn't to be. So the feeling is a massive frustration. But we said we've got a game Tuesday. Sheffield FC, we've got to go there and get us 3 points, and the season starts Tuesday.
Do you think it were a case of just after that 20-minute mark where they started trying to put balls in behind, and they got their 3 on our back too.
Yeah, I think the first 20 minutes I'm looking around, I'm thinking the lads have started well. It was a familiar feel to the way that we like to do things, everything but sticking the ball in the back of the net. We weren't having as many clear cut chances, but I did feel like the momentum of the game was massively with us. But you can sort of see from an absolute mile off they've come here to slow the game down, and they've probably thought, well, right at the first 10-15 minutes we've got a chance, we can maybe start to put a few balls in behind. And they've executed the game plan well. They've got 1, and then in quick succession they've got 2. Before you know it, we're 2-0 down. They've got something to cling on to. They can slow the game down even more. So fair play to them. Something for us to learn off. We don't want it to happen again. And like I say, I can't tell you how frustrated I am. You really want to go out. The frustration is massive at the minute. So but we've got to learn from it. We've got to get better. Can't let it happen again.
Do you think it was disappointing as well that the chances that we created were probably in double figures for chances created, but the shots were not efficient or direct on target?
Yeah, we pride ourselves on our goals and our firepower. So to come away with a 0 at home is gutting, to be honest. The chances, I've played in games for Worksop where you're thinking we're going to go 5, 6, 7 here. We had chances today, but it didn't. We didn't really create those clear cut chances like that we normally do. That's something for us to work on, get better at. Just it weren't our day today.
I suppose the only sort of bright spark from that was after half time when Alex was introduced. He seemed to take responsibility, and we've seen that all pre-season.
Yeah, the boy's got great energy, great ability. When he comes on and things like that, he likes to make things happen. And I'm pleased for him on a personal note today that he's had a good game. Hopefully, he can keep recreating performances like that, because when he does, like you see, he's got great ability, and hopefully, he can drive us forward and produce goals for us.
Since the start of the season, and obviously we've done a programme interview last year talking about the playing side of your career, but you've recently, February, implemented a coaching side. How have you found that so far?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. The relationships that we've got in the management team is second to none. Like I say, we work on a daily basis about things. I've worked really closely with Whitey. Fitness wasn't a factor really today, but you've seen in previous games that we've got the lads fit, and I've learnt a lot from Whitey, Paz, Jeffsy. The way they operate, the way they get the team set up. So it's every day is a bit of an eye opener for me. I'm still learning. I'm still chipping in where I can, and hopefully my input's valuable as and where it's needed. But I'm still learning. But it's like I said, alongside my playing, it's been enjoyable.
Obviously, you've enjoyed a lot of pre-seasons in your career as well. How different has this one been, considering that aspect to it?
It's tough to say what I want to say. Coming away from a 3-0 home defeat on the first game of the season, but the feel around the place, like when we left training on Thursday, and the excitement yesterday, and building up this morning, I was buzzing. I was thinking, come on, let's get in, and let's get them 3 points, and away we go. Because I really do feel like we're building something really, really good at the club. And today's not going to define our season. Hopefully, it defines our season in a positive way, as in that's never going to happen again. Look at where we went. We lost first game of the season, but we've gone on and done what we've done. So hopefully, we'll look back in it on that sense. But I really do feel like we're building something special. So, like I say, we want to stick together and stick with the trust the process, and trust that we're well prepared, we're well planned, and it's going to get better.
And obviously today, for an actual competitive match, what's the difference has been like? Think about last season, going into competitive games. What's your preparation been like this time around with the actual side? Thinking, I'm not just going to play, I'm actually going to nurture a couple of players as well.
Yeah, and like I say, you mentioned Alex there. I think Alex plays in similar positions to myself, and there's things I can hopefully influence him with, going forward, and my experience and put on him. So from a personal playing level, one or two of the attacking players, I think I can really have a good input with. But it's more the training side and getting the lads prepared, and I can see the dedication that goes into putting an 11 out there, and you feel everything, absolutely everything. You feel absolutely every kick of the ball. You're looking around the dressing room, thinking, is he all right? Is he motivated well enough? Is he fit enough? So it's absolutely taking in every aspect of it, which is something I'm learning about as well. Like I say, I want to keep myself fit as well. So I've been getting involved and keeping myself fit, and like I say, I want to play a massive part on the pitch as well. So finding the balance has been enjoyable, to be honest. It's really been enjoyable. But to see, you take pride when the lads are looking fit, because you think, I've had a bit of a part to play in that. So like I say, and I've got absolutely no doubt whatsoever that we're going to kick on from this point, and I believe in what we're doing. I believe that the preparation that we've put in will stand us in good stead. So like I say, win 3 points Tuesday night, FA Cup next Saturday, and then we go again, and the ball's rolling.
You mentioned about people's mentalities in there with this coaching side onto you. Is it completely different thinking that actually instead of being frustrated in yourself and as a player think about just the performance, you're actually looking at body language and people's mentality and how they react to certain stuff?
Yeah, like I say, it's probably easy to come in here, and especially after a day like today, and I've come off the pitch 60, 70 minutes, I don't know when it was, maybe even earlier, and I'm thinking, why has this happened? And I'm even now, as we're talking, I'm racking my brain, why has this happened? Because I can have an impact on, one, making sure it doesn't happen again, two, watch the video back, finding out factors of why, and it's not just my individual performance, it's now a collective, what can we do as a management team to make this better? What could we have done better to prepare for the lads? Like I say, we don't want this to happen again, so is it something that we said, is it something that we did in preparation that we could have potentially done different, and things like that. And that's, like I say, that will be going around my head until Tuesday night when we kick off. So it's a different side for me, but like I say, it's enjoyable, it's one I'm relishing, and like I say, to be involved in such a big part in football, it's all I want to do, really. And
thinking about previous coaches, obviously being from that professional game setting, I know it's a big marker for us because obviously we're proud of having you here, and you'll be proud to have been at that level. And certain managers that you've worked under, what have you taken from how they might have set up, and how have you implemented it into your own thinking?
Yeah, and like I say, it's, from a personal level, I know what I've enjoyed playing under, I know what I've not enjoyed playing under, and I think the way that I've always sort of prospered, and I've seen teams that have been in prospered, is allowing the lads that freedom for themselves to think and to do. We're there to support, we're there to put that framework in, we're there to make sure that they're fit and that they've got an ethos to work from, but lads need to go out there and make their own decisions on the pitch, because at the end of the day, the management team can pick the team, they can prepare the team, but out there on the pitch they need that 11 to go out there and do what they do. So that is something that I've sort of tried to do. I'm not going to go in and get onto lads, because I don't think that's the way to do it, but I'm going to show them the right ways that I think they can do it, put a lot of responsibility on the lads, make them think, because I think if you can use your brain in football and think, actually, why am I doing well, why am I not doing well, it's something I like to do, and creating the positive atmosphere that we've got here, and like I say, allowing lads to make mistakes, but as long as they react and they're honest, that's what that's the way I like to work. As long as they're honest and hardworking, you can work with that all day. If lads aren't honest and hardworking, it's tough to deal with. But I'll relate it back to today. Every single one of them lads in there is absolutely gutted. Nobody's put in a shift and they've gone, do you know what, he didn't work hard enough, he weren't bothered. Every single lad in there is gutted today, and I've got no doubt that the ethos and atmosphere that we've created will make it right on Tuesday.
And I suppose, like, looking at different managers as well, obviously Dean Smith, one of them, probably the height one that's gone on to different heights with Aston Villa. And you sort of, now you're looking at a section where, right, we know what you've experienced defeats, you've experienced how people react when you win, when you draw, cup finals as well in the JPT. It's these different aspects, they sort of shape you, don't they, as a especially now thinking on the coaching side. Yeah,
they're doing it. Like I say, it is something that everything that I have experienced, I have mentally had a little think back at how did he react to it, how did they react to it, what did we do before the game on that day, if we've won, how did we prepare that week? If we lost, what did the manager do after the game? How did the coaches get around the lads? What did we do to make us win the next game? If we're winning, how did we keep the momentum going? And I have had a little think about absolutely everyone, because, like I say, I've been in teams that have lost probably my best ever season in football. We got tonked on the first game of the season, 3-0 at home, and then I went on to one of my happiest and best ever times, and we had a great season after that. So on a personal level as well, so I've obviously had a little think about that today. I was that flashback in my mind, and I thought, do you know what, this is only going to get better, because I know it's going to get better from personal experience. So yeah, I do think about it, and I think about, well, what worked for me, because what worked for me is what I'm going to try and implement on everybody else. I'm not going to do something that I thought was terrible because it didn't work for me. I'm going to try and put that on everybody else, and if it works well, great. If not, like I say, I can learn from that. It's my first season. I'm only going to improve season on season.
Well, I'm also, as an interviewer, saying you probably take an experience from these people, even Craig, on a weekly basis, but I suppose it's shaping yourself to be what you can deliver as an individual.
Yeah, like I said, the management team I'm working with now have gone, probably look at the last 4 or 5 seasons, they've gone promotion, first, seconds, thirds in leagues, playoffs. They know how to get out of this league, they know how to win games of football. Hopefully the fans here and yourself have seen, Dev, that 9 times out of 10 we win. We create a winning mentality, and which is why we're so deflated, shell-shocked, call it whatever you want right now, Sayer, because I'm thinking we don't really experience this much, we don't really experience defeat much, and we don't want to experience defeat. So, and obviously the way we react, the way I'm dare say we'll have a phone call, chat about it tonight, the game and things like that, and the way we go forward is probably what they, what Paz and his team have done for the last few years. We will get it right. We will go and win on Tuesday, and I have no doubt about that.
And that's it. The second episode is over already, Luke. How have you enjoyed today?
Yeah, I mean, it's not on the back of not a good result, but I think the podcast has done well. I think we've got some. I think the fans will appreciate the interviews and the views of the people getting interviewed. And I think it's gone really well today.
Yeah, Luke, I'm certainly enjoying the episodes, and I'm hoping the people that are listening as well won't be too put off by our Yorkshire slang sometimes and little anecdotes. But like I said in the previous one, we will get better. We will get more content in there, and hopefully when we start doing the player or the guests, especially on the podcast, that'll be when the entertainment value's in there. Obviously now we're sort of putting it from a journalistic point of view, but we want to include fans in. We want to have a little bit of fun, get a little bit of banter going, and I think that's the best type of podcast out there. It's a conversation that's entertains you.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it adds character to it. It makes it a lot more interesting. It's not robotic. It's not one-dimensional. I think having banter and having a lot of good material in different areas is good. And I think if you really, I think we can really make something really good of this podcast that we're doing.
So yeah, that's the end of episode 2. Hopefully we see you at Sheffield FC on Tuesday night. It's only a short trip, and from my past experiences there, reporting on the under-19s and the first team, make sure to wear trousers because the little midges, you get bit everywhere. It's horrible, but hopefully we can get a positive result. So Luke, it's goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye everyone.